Hello everyone and welcome back to integers. We are going to continue to look at adding today, but we're now looking at what happens when you have larger numbers that aren't so close to zero and it gets harder to visualize. I'm going to start today with small numbers using this new system. It's sort of an extension of what we've been doing with the stinky socks and air fresheners. And hopefully we'll be able to see through the easy example how it works, and then we'll move to our larger numbers here. So by now, using stinky socks and air fresheners, I think you know that positive 5 over here, when you add 7 stinky socks, life gets worse. We move to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here we land at negative 2. No surprises there, I think. But let's try it with this extension on our strategy. As usual, we start on the left and orient ourselves. We have to know where we're beginning. So that's here at positive 5. Then we tell the rest of the story, which is to say that while there are 5 air fresheners in the room right now, the story goes on to say we're going to put 7 stinky socks into the room. Life is getting worse. So we're starting here and we're traveling to the left. So the key question here is, if we travel to the left, are we moving toward 0 or are we traveling away from 0? And I think you can see right away, if we start at 5 and go to the left, we're going toward 0. So that brings us right here. It asks, are you traveling toward 0? And if you are, then you take the larger absolute value minus the smaller absolute value. Now, what do we mean by absolute value? We kind of mean just ignore the signs and treat them like regular old numbers, just as we've always had. And so the larger one is the 7, the smaller one is the 5, and when we subtract, we get a 2. The only thing left then is to say, is that positive or negative? Where did we land? Well, if we started at 5 and we traveled to the left by 7, we know we've moved over to the negative side, and there's our negative sign. So let's extend this now to larger integers. Begin on the left, know where you are. 137, positive. Lots of air fresheners in the room. We're way on this side of the number line and obviously way off my computer screen to the right. But that's fine, we can work with that. Telling the rest of the story, I'm now adding, I'm over here, adding 264 stinky socks. So that is definitely going to make life get worse. So I'm moving from out in this region to the left, and of course you can see that is toward 0 again. So larger minus smaller when we consider absolute values. So that would be the 264 minus the 137. I'll just pop that into my calculator and it comes out to 97. So I can put that in here now. And the only thing left is to determine where we landed. In other words, is it positive or is it negative? Well, if you start at 137 on the right here, and you move to the left by a whole lot more than 137, you know you're going to land on the negative side, and so there's our sign. So let's take another look at one like that, and then we'll do one that's a bit different. So here we're beginning at negative 89. We're way out on the left, beyond my number line. A lot of stinky socks in the room, but I go to add 214 air fresheners. So from the region on the left, life is getting better. I'm moving to the right. And of course that is, yep, toward 0. And so subtract the absolute values. So here it would be 214 minus the 89. We get to ignore the signs right now. And that gives me 125. And now we just have to figure out what our sign is. Well, if we started in the left at about negative 89 and we added far more than 89, we're going to cross over into the positive side. And so it's positive 125. So doing our last example now, which we'll use our other rule, we're beginning at negative 93. That's knowing where we are out here on the left side of our number line, way off the computer screen. And to tell the rest of the story, we know that we are going to add 18 stinky socks. So if I'm beginning to the left and my life is getting worse, you guessed it, we are traveling away from 0. If we're traveling away from 0, it says add the absolute values. So I need to take the 93, the absolute value, and add the 18, which gives me, what is that, 111. So I can put that in brackets here. And then I need to figure out where we landed. Well, I think you're getting the hang of this. If we began on the left and we moved further left, we're staying firmly on the negative side. And so there's our answer. So when we get into these bigger numbers, please begin to use this way of thinking. I strongly encourage you to pause this video, write this down as a note, especially this part in the box, and then practice with the larger values. And check in at Classroom today, see what your assignment is. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope it goes really well. Bye for now.
And you see, it's just that easy.